Hello everyone and welcome to our annual Black History Show. Black history is not solely about struggle, but the strength that is acquired to endure any struggle. The wisdom and knowledge that is obtained to overcome any struggles. It is courage in the midst of despair, prosperity in the midst of poverty, forgiveness in the midst of injustice. Black history is the ability to take a negative and turn it into a positive. By being able to love thy neighbor as thyself. By helping the helpless and giving hope to the hopeless. Black history has impacted our past, is impacting us in our present, and continues to impact us in our future. From writers to actors, educators and to performers, lawyers and doctors, scholars and artists, Black history is a piece of me, and it is a piece of you. It is a key component in what holds this world together. So some may even call it this earth's glue. It's innovation, it's dedication, it's motivation, but most of all, it's inspiration. Black history is world history. Black history is American history. Black history is our history. Black history is your history. Please enjoy the show.
Hi, I am Trinity. On TV today, many Americans are familiar with African Americans who have become famous in the areas of sports, music, and entertainment. While these are great success stories, African Americans have excelled in all walks of life, as business people, as inventors, as scientists, and as politicians.
Please welcome to the stage Precious Johnson, as she does a living biography. Acting out the life of noted scientist Catherine Johnson, made famous and inventing figures. Welcome Precious Johnson to the stage.
Good morning. As a 100-year-old Black woman, I stand here in front of all of you beautiful people to tell my story, here to tell my journey, my life. Are you ready? I was born on August 26, 1918, in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, to Jolette Coleman and Joshua Coleman. As a child, I was always interested in numbers. I saw numbers in my head, in my mind, in my heart, even on scratch paper. I loved to solve equations. Big, small, medium, it didn't matter. My teacher saw so much potential in me where I skipped several grades of school. At 13, I attended a high school, and then eventually I enrolled in a historically Black school known as West Virginia State College and majored in mathematics. See, everyone in their life has one person besides God they can depend on to help them. Whether it's their mom, their dad, their sibling, their cousin, teacher, counselor, or even just a friend. But for me, in college, it was Dr. W.W. Claytor, a remarkable man. He was the third African American to earn a PhD in mathematics. And see, I always think of his life as algebra solution. See, it added three things: education, determination, and oppression. And it added an equally to Black determination and hope. I graduated college in 1937 and started teaching at a Black public school in Virginia. However, 2 years later, I left my teaching job after West Virginia State's president, Dr. John W. Davis, selected 2 male students, and I as the first African American students to be selected to integrate West Virginia University's graduate school. I was the first Black African American female to enroll in their math graduate school, and my heart was beating from the time I walked in to the time I walked out. But I ended up not finishing because I decided to start a family with my late husband, John Global. Soon on, I gave birth to 3 amazing girls. Catherine, Constance, and Joette. Later on in 1952, my relative told me about the computing section at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, aka NACA, which is now known as NASA. So my family and I decided to take the opportunity, to take the risk. I mean, what did we have to lose? 2 weeks into my new job, Dorothy Bennigan assigned me to a project in the Maneuver Loads branch of the Flight Research Division. For the next 4 years, I analyzed data from flight tests and worked on an investigation of a plane crash caused by wake turbulence. Those 4 years and years after, I did my job every day. I never missed a day. I never stayed home sick and playing with stuff. I got up, thank God to be alive, and I used each day to make a difference, to make a change. Sadly, by December of 1956, my first husband died from cancer. After that, for a while I felt as if my life was over. However, I still had to keep a good face on for my daughters, to be their strength. 5 years later, my life took a turn towards happiness once again. In May 1961, I did the trajectory analysis for Alan Shepard's Freedom 7 mission. Then, John Glenn wouldn't even fly the Friendship 7 mission without me checking the numbers manually as a human computer. I mean, a human black female computer. Little old me, a black woman checking a white man's numbers who's going up into space, kind of unheard of. Yet sadly, after those long hours of work, I still had to ride the back of the bus in the colored section, only use the colored water fountains and bathrooms, only drink out of the colored coffee pot at work. And unfortunately, all my hard work didn't still matter to society. Around me, reality never stopped hitting me. I was still a black female. I was still oppressed. I was still surrounded by racism in every look, every sign, and every thought that I didn't even have to hear. Later on, I ended up authoring and co-authoring 26 research reports for NASA. See, my problem was to answer the questions, and I did that to the best of my ability, all the times, correct or incorrect. I retired in 1986, and funny because 29 years later, I was awarded with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, American Civilian Honor. Met and spoke to the first black president, President Barack Obama, and Taraji P. Henson represented me in the movie Hidden Figures. Also real, I could say. Now 100 years old, I hope my story can be a part of each and every one of your lives in this room, and encourage every student, every young adult, every adult in this room to always fight for what you believe in. Fight for what makes you wake up in the morning. Fight for your aspirations. Fight for what makes you smile. And for every person, every job position, every dream, there's never, don't you ever, give up on hope. Because whatever is meant for you, and I mean truly meant for each and every one of you in front of me, nobody, and I mean nobody, can take that away from you, ever. Thank you.
My name is Jay. The music of Africa influences culture worldwide, even today. Rock, R&B, gospel, and even rock have their roots in the music of motherland. The music of Africa now touching all types of people.
The music of Africa is truly now international. Please welcome the Atlantic Chorus as they present a song from the harmonies and rhythms of Africa.
Here's Miss Groves, who teaches English here at Union High School. Welcome her to Atlantic Stage as she sings, Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Good morning, everybody. All right, and this is the National Black Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, so you feel inclined to sing with me, that's fine.
Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my hotness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, cause I laugh like I got gold mines digging in my backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history, shame, I rise. Up from the past that rooted in pain, I rise. From a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that wondrously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
My name is Alex Matthew. Black History Month began in the 1920s by African American historian Dr. Carter G. Woodson. It was initially a week long, but over a period of time, it spread to the month of February. Here is Dr. Lanham, representing the Social Studies Department, sharing his insights on the importance of Black History Month.
Black History Month is important for many reasons. I enjoy studying and celebrating Black History Month not only because of my heritage, but also for inspiration. Black History Month allows opportunities for reflection and celebration. It's a celebration of the human spirit, of how chains, whips, and ropes cannot bind, tear, and choke the hopes and aspirations of the people. It is a celebration of forgiveness, of how injustice, oppression, and humiliation are not powerful enough to penetrate the big hearts of the people and cause bitterness, anger, and hatred to take root. It's a celebration of dignity, of how humiliation can be gracefully endured over hundreds of years without a loss of the sense of self and the desire for self-determination. It's a celebration of patriotism, how the Buffalo Soldiers of the Civil War and the Tuskegee Airmen of World War II fought, bled, and some even died for the country they loved, but for a country that did not always treat them as first-class citizens. It's a celebration of hope, of how peaceful demonstration and civic involvement can bring change and reconciliation to an entire nation. It's a celebration of triumph, of how Booker T. Washington stood outside a class he was not allowed to go into just so he could learn to read and write, of how Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marched and made the ultimate sacrifice for his dream, of how 40 years later, Barack Obama would confidently believe he could achieve something that had never been achieved in American history, as he so eloquently and confidently uttered 3 simple yet powerful and resounding words: yes, we can. I believe everyone should study and celebrate Black History Month if they seek inspiration to forgive, to hope, to triumph, to be more patriotic, to be more dignified. I believe everyone should study and celebrate Black History Month if they want to celebrate the beauty and strength of the human spirit. Thank you.
The Black Church was a single point for African American communities and continues to be a vital force. Most of the great leaders of the Civil Rights Movement were ministers of African American churches. Ms. Jenkins, our marketing teacher, is here to present a dance tribute to gospel music and African American church.
Freedom, oh, me.
Please put your hands together for the actual thing so far for that 2 rounds. Nona is about to come perform and do a song called Strange Fruit. I need to give you the background. There's a horrible crime called lynching. This would happen throughout history where mobs of whites would grab a black person who had done nothing and they would murder them, chiefly by hanging. This happened to my own great-grandfather. My last name is Temple. It was originally Hardy. But after my great-grandfather was murdered, my family left the area because they didn't know if a mob was going to come back and get them, and they changed their name to Temple so people wouldn't be able to figure out who they were. It was very personal to me. This song was written in the 30s to tell people about the tragedy of black people being murdered by hanging. The strange fruit of the song is actually the bodies of black people being hung in the 30s. I want you to be very reverent and feel the power of this song, Strange Fruit by Nautica.
Southern trees, bearing strange fruit, blood on the leaves, and blood at the roots. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South. Them big bulging eyes and the twisted mouth. Scent of magnolia, clean and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck. For the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the leaves to drop. Here is strange and bitter
Please put your hands together for all our performers. We have one more. If you'll bear with us 4 more minutes, please. set up. The bell's gonna ring in just a moment. You won't hear it. If you please give us 5 more minutes to go out, and you won't miss anything. I want to say we appreciate the hold on. I want to say the audience, you've been a really respectful and reverent audience, and we really, really appreciate that. Also, we want to give a shout out to the performing arts groups. We have Nautica, Chorus, all of our different actors and performers that we have, and I want to encourage you, if you haven't found your place at Atlantic, a group to be in, whether performing or sports or academics, find a group. It is important. It makes high school that much more meaningful to you when you find something to do. All right. At this time, we're going to introduce our next act. It'll be our last act, and then we will dismiss right after that. Thank you for your patience.
With the triumphs and tragedies of African American history, music has continued to be an important part of Black experience. So by a show of hands, who knows who Rosa Parks is? Everyone? By a show of hands, who knows who Claudette Colvin is? A couple? So Claudette Colvin was actually the first Black African American woman to go and sit in the front of the bus, and she refused to give up her seat to a white woman. So when she did this, she got moved off the bus and she was sent in prison. But she got on parole and eventually was in the Browder versus Gale case, which ended segregation on public transportation. So her name got suppressed in the media because she was 15, and not much later, she got pregnant by another man, a wedded man. So she wasn't allowed to be the person of the community to represent. So Rosa Parks was, and Rosa Parks was 42 when she did this. Claudette was only 15. But Rosa was a moral person. That's why she got chosen.
As African Americans continue their climb for equality and achievement, we continue to reach for higher ground. Here's Ms. Howard, Mr. Brown, Mr. Triplett, and Mr. Blackwell with the supporting cast of students singing Stevie Wonder's Higher Ground.
So
on your faces. Big in the house.